Hello everybody, welcome to the stream, and let me mute myself. Alright, it's good to see you all, or it's good to see a number on the screen, knowing that you're all out there in the internet watching on. So today we're going to do something that I've been meaning to do for a very, very, very long time. And that is to refactor the code base of the application to make it easier to handle. So last time we ran into a situation where we wanted to use a couple of classes inside a share extension. And we ended up in a situation where we had to basically tell Xcode, okay, so here are a couple of files that are part of a different target. So not just of the main target, but also of the extension target. And that, is definitely possible. And I mean, Xcode tooling is there, so it's definitely a use case that Apple foresaw, and which they probably think, okay, so that is a good use case. But it feels not great, and I think it's much better to parcel up, if you will, everything into smaller packages to make it more maintainable, and hopefully also arrive at a situation where stuff is more testable maybe, or more compartmentalized, and it's easier to reason about stuff, and you can reuse stuff. So that is what we're going to do today. And before we get into that, let me try to start a poll here, because I would really like to know which package manager you've been using in the past. So which package manager did you use, or have you been using? So any suggestions? CocoaPods for sure. Swift package manager. Let's do SPM. What else? Carthage. Any others? Let me switch to my screen here, and then we can search. Let's see. Swift package manager, all alternatives. All right, Alcatraz. Oh wow, yeah. Rome, Axio, Cocoa Seeds. I've never heard of Cocoa Seeds. Has any of you heard about Cocoa Seeds before? Homebrew, yeah, that's a good point. But can you use Homebrew for Swift packages, or for Swift stuff? Let's see. So let's definitely add. Which one did I want to add? Hello, where's my mouse? Okay, Alcatraz. Okay, let's go with these. I can only add 4. So let's start the poll, and then people can say which one they've used. Okay, and while we're at it, let's go to GitHub, and let's take a look at the Firebase repository. Firebase iOS SDK, I believe it is. And CocoaPods is going away, but we support it. and there are, I think we also support Carthage, right? So we've got CocoaPods, we've got Swift Package Manager, and the others aren't even listed, but I am pretty sure that we did support Carthage. Yeah, so there you go. And you can also download Firebase as a zip file, and then you can import it manually. Cool. So let's do it. So here we are in Xcode, and this is where we left off last time. So here we have our share extension, and oh, let's see. Didn't we implement task? There is, oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, for a moment I was confused because I was looking for the part that we implemented last time, but here it is. So here is our share extension, and here is the part where we connected to Swift UI. And let's quickly take a look at all the files that we had to basically double target. So for example, the artifact is in the Sophia target and also in the Sophia share extension target. And this one as well, the metadata service as well. So, it's all over the place. So let's begin. And first of all, let me bring up Finder and let's take a look at how our folder structure looks like. So we are in this folder here. This is where our application lives. This is where the extension lives. Here's our Xcode project. And here in this folder, we've got the Firebase backend project with our Cloud Functions. And here is all the code. So what I want to do is I want to create a new folder here for the packages, and then we'll host all the packages in this folder. And eventually they would live in either the same repository as the main application, or we could even put them into different repositories, and then we could even pull them in from whichever Git provider you use. I'm assuming that most of us use GitHub, but it really doesn't matter. You could specify, please load this package from this Git URL, and then Xcode would download it and inject it into your application. So we're going to place all the packages in this folder here. And let's get started by creating a new package. So File, New Package, and we'll start with the artifact model. So I'm not going to use a testing system for now. And oh, let me double check. Let me double check that I'm actually in the correct project. Show in Finder. Yeah. Okay, File, New Package. We want to use a library, no testing system, and then we're gonna put it into this packages folder, which is empty, and we'll call it artifact model. And then the critical part is to make sure that this is part of the project. So down here, I'm going to select Sophia, and then I can pick the group that I want to put it in. And I'm going to use the root object here as well. And that means it will basically be a direct child of this node here and be in parallel to this node down here. So let's create this. And here we go. So we can see that the package now is in parallel to our main target folders here, which is really beautiful. And we've got our main package file, we've got our sources folder, everything needs to be inside the sources folder, and here is the main empty Swift file. Let's quickly double check that everything is in the correct place by looking into Finder. So here we go, we are in the live project, and here are our folders, here's our package folder, and here is our artifact model folder. Great, so we are set up. Cool, so the first thing I want to do is to move this artifact file from the main project into my package. So I'm just going to drag it, and then I want to put it here, and I actually want to move it. So I can do that by holding down the Command key, and then it will move the file. And now the file is here. So let's do a quick compile to see what we need to change to make this really compile. So the first thing is that it says, well, I can't find Firebase core, I can't find Firebase Firestore internal wrapper, so that sounds a bit confusing maybe, but essentially what we're missing is the Firebase Firestore package. And the main reason why we need that is that we have the document ID property wrapper here. So let's go with it and try to fix it. And oh right, so here are a couple more compile errors that we also need to look at. But first, let's fix this one. So let's go to our package, and we need to add a dependency on Firebase. And to do that, we'll add a dependencies node here. And then we will need a package, and we want to provide a package using a URL and a range, I guess. Yep, that's right. So it's going to be https github.com/firebase/Firebase iOS SDK. You don't need the .git extension, that's really not needed. And then we want to use a from range, and let's quickly look at the repository to see which versions are available. Where are we? So Firebase iOS SDK, and you can easily find out which versions are available by looking at the Releases tab at the Releases section, and you can see that version 11.10.0 is the latest one, and by clicking on this node here you can see the changelog and all the previous versions. So let's say 11.0.0 to give some flexibility here, and there is a comma that is missing, so that's this one. And then I think what we also need to do is add a dependency here, because this target depends on the library as well. So, and down here we will need a product, and we need to provide the name, and that is, so now we need to provide the name of the library that we want. So I happen to know which one it is, but let's try to figure out what we can do to figure out what is the correct, what are the available products there. So to do that, we're going to look into the repository and have a look at the package.swift file. And it's probably not large enough for everyone to read, so let's make it a lot larger. And then looking at this package definition here, you can see all the products, right? And it starts here, so one of the products is Firebase Analytics. Then we've got Firebase Analytics without add ID support, and so on and so forth. We've got Firebase App Check, Firebase Auth. Let's search for Firestore, because that is what we need. And here we go. We've got Firebase Firestore. I'm going to copy this and then come over here, paste it here, and then the package is the last name of this URL here. Okay, let's compile. So, how's everybody doing? Is it the end of your day, or beginning of the day, or middle of the day? I'm curious. I know that Lars, it's probably end of the day, since you live in Hanover, I think. But for other folks, is it the middle of the day? For me, it's the end of the day, but it often feels like there is still so much time after this. So we've got a couple more compile errors. So this worked apparently, but in our extension here, it says, I can't find the file. So, let's do one thing. I am curious. So what did it do about the target membership, right? So the artifact file did have a target membership that made it a member of the Sophia target and also of the Sophia share extension target. And when we select the file, because it's now part of a package, the property inspector does not show us which target it is a member of, because it can't really tell us. It probably could tell us, as we'll see in a minute, but it doesn't do it. And to be honest, I think it's probably not something that I would expect to see here, because I expect that everything that's in this right-hand inspector here is something that I can manipulate, right? So for example, by clicking here and then switching, what kind of source this is, look at that. I mean, like, would you have thought that you can, the Xcode supports Fortran? That is wild. That is really wild. It doesn't support COBOL though. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, so I would expect that everything that's happening over here in this tab, in this view, is basically editable. And that is what we did last time, right? We changed the target membership, and that had an impact on the project. So now that's not possible. But everything in a package needs to be manually specified. All right, so Lars asks, why don't you use add package dependencies instead of editing package.swift? Right, so that is a very good question, and it basically boils down to, is it even supported in the product, right? So let's see. I mean, like, I've learned some really surprising things in the past couple of weeks. So maybe you can actually modify the package file using Xcode's editor here, right? So let's see. So add package dependencies. No. So the entire menu system operates on the current project, and the current project is Sophia, right? So if I wanted to manipulate the package, then I would have to open the package. So let's try that. So I'm going to quit Xcode, and then I'm going to switch over to the Finder, and I'm going to open the package by double-clicking it. And here is Xcode. So let's see, here's our package, and it downloads all the dependencies. Let's give it a moment. Here we go. Here is package resolved. And let's see if I can edit the package dependencies. So add package dependency, there we go. Let's use a random one. Right-click on the files. Yeah, let's try that. Yeah, let me wait for this one here to finish. Everything that takes a while, I'm hesitant to abort it because we will have to do it again. Okay, so let's add this one here. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but this is, at least this comes from a public repository. So, oh, this is so interesting. Do you see? So instead of saying add dependency, it says copy dependency. So let's do that, copy, and the dialog doesn't go away. So, okay, so you can see that it did copy the package specification, right? So I can now take that, and then I can go here and paste that here. I mean, that's not bad. But I think, yeah, Lars, you probably expected, being able to say, okay, add this to the dependencies of the package, right? So, okay, so you said right-click on the file. Okay, here we go, add package dependencies. Does it work just on the package file? No, it also works on the package. Okay, so, but probably the same, right? So here's the copy dependencies button. Here we are, copy dependency, and then we can go in and paste it here. Woo! Yeah, because it's a local package. Okay, cool. So that would definitely work. Now let's see, since you said right-click on the file, let's see if that also works if we are in the main project. Cool, so we are back in the main project. Let's do right-click, add package dependencies. Oh, interesting. I mean, if this works, that would be so cool. I mean, well, depending on your download speed, right? Okay. Okay, so Here it says the project Sophia already depends on ConversationKit as a local dependency. So that means that if I say add package, it would add it to the project. And let's take something else. Let's take this one here. And the only option I have is to say, please add it to the main project. I can't even say, please add it to my package file. So, I wonder if I press the option key or one of the other modifiers, if that changes the button here. Sometimes holding down the option key changes the UI, but it doesn't. So I'm holding down the option key, nothing happens. Command, Control, Shift, function, no change. Okay, so unfortunately, that doesn't work. I mean, it would have been great, and it's a great suggestion, Lars. But unfortunately, it's not the way it works. So where are we? I think we needed to fix a couple of compile errors, right? Are they still around? Here we are. Okay. Yeah, so all of these are not, it can't find it because, yeah. All right, and this is also something that we should probably move around, but let's move this around first, I think. Yeah, let me, maybe not. Let's move that to a different one. But let's import, let's try to import our artifact model. So import artifact model. And it says there is no such model. And that is actually true because we haven't imported or made it available to the target. So what we need to do is we need to come into our project, go into the target, and then in the frameworks, libraries, and embedded content section, click on the plus button, and here we go. Here is our package, and here is our library target. We'll select that, add it to our libraries here, and we'll probably have to do the same for the share extension. Oh, I think we don't have to do that here, right? So let me remove that here and just do it in the extension because we've made the package be a part of the main project. So let's do it this way. And we're compiling. So no such, that is interesting. Okay, so apparently we still need to tell it that we want to import it, right? So let's do that. Always do what the compiler wants. Or maybe it was a stale warning. Sometimes just deleting the errors works, but let's wait for the compiler to finish. Okay, so looking at the poll, we've got 5 votes and 24 minutes. I'll wait 6 more minutes and then we'll close the poll and see which package managers everybody uses or has been using. Here is a compile error. Okay, so we'll take a look at that later. First, let's try to fix this. So this is importing artifact model, but it can't find the thing. Why is that? Oh, I know. So we've imported the library. We still can't see the artifact though. So the problem is that it's not public. And now this should work. Yep. So all those compile errors are gone. And I bet that this one is also a style one. So let's just delete them. Nope. Yeah, so for this one, we need to import artifact model, and that should be fine. All right, so this is fun, right? So now it complains that there are extra arguments at positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in this call. And this looks, it was perfectly fine just a minute ago. And the reason why is that we don't have a public initializer here. And we need one because Swift will only synthesize the non-public one. So we'll just do that here. Public init. Yep, let's use code completion, and then that looks great. Let's compile. And there is another failed build. What about this one? Extra argument add created at. Why is that? Can we get a quick fix? No, we can't. Well, it's after a site name. Okay, comma created at. So this provides a default value. Does that make sense? I think it does. Okay. Okay, so this is resolving. Now we have a couple more errors. So what we can do, preview content. Yeah, let's import artifact model. Okay, we also need the ID, and what is number 10? Who knows? Readable HTML, probably. Yeah, looks like. 1.9. We'll start by creating an ID. And then do this here, self.id equals ID. Good, so we've got those extra ones, readable HTML and is read. So is read is after site name and before created at, and readable HTML is after our site name, probably in the same order as these ones, I guess. Yep. Okay, can we get more code completion, please? That looks great. Is this in the correct order? Last updated at is the last one, I think. Oh, and then also we need to set them. Self.hello. Give me code completion. Yep. 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 Oh, interesting. No, we don't want that. Good. Ooh, okay, so more import stuff. I'm going to just copy that because it's hopefully going to make my job easier. Okay, so this is going to be fun. Undefined symbol, artifact.init. Oh my god. That's also quite interesting. Sometimes a good old clean helps. Look at all those things. Where are they coming from? No, not new. Built. So let's see. I'm not entirely sure where this really weird compile error or linker error is coming from. Maybe it's some symbol visibility, but these are public already. Okay, all right, so here we go. Here's more stuff. Here's okay, this is probably a follow-up error, but here we need to import this. And then we need to import this here. And now the build succeeded. Wow, nice. So it only took us like what? Slightly more than half an hour to rip this out. Right, so and here we go. So this is our, let's close everything. This is our package. We've got our artifact model. Let me remove all the comments we don't need. And we've got our package file specifying the name of the library and the target. We've got our dependencies, in this case just Firebase, and we're pulling in Firebase Firestore into our artifact model target, and we've got our artifact file with our artifact struct. Everything is public. And we've got this artifact model thing here, and I believe we can delete that. Famous last words. Let's do a compile to verify this. I typically don't keep those around, so I'm pretty sure you can remove it. All right, while we're waiting for the compiler, let me close the poll. So everybody's using Swift Package Manager. Amazing. Yeah. I mean, I started with CocoaPods, and it was such a revelation. I mean, before CocoaPods, you would have like really, really lengthy descriptions of, hey, if you want to use this library, here are all the things you need to do, right? You need to download the thing. You need to put it into a directory. You need to go into the build settings and set the path to where you can find it. You need to adjust the linker settings and all of that. Oh, wow, it was a nightmare, right? So adding a library that could easily take you, if things went well, even just going through the settings, that, took you anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. And then you'd never know if it actually works. So fingers crossed when compiling, and then, sometimes it didn't work, and then you had to figure out what is wrong, and it was a nightmare. And CocoaPods made all of that so much easier. Just pod install, and then boom, it did everything for you. That was really great, really, really great. So it was a very useful tool. It still is, I think. If we didn't have SPM, then we'd still be using CocoaPods. Great. So build succeeded, everything's still compiling. So let's see. I want to have another package as well for our repository. File, new package, library, and how are we going to call it? Artifact store, maybe. Artifact store. We want to add it to Sophia and into this main group here. We are in the correct folder here. Always worth checking. Create. Boom, here we go. Clean this up a little bit. And now we are going to move our artifact store. It's going to be interesting. So what happens if I move this file over because you already have an artifact store? So is it going to blow up? Is Xcode going to crash? Who knows? Okay, it made a copy. So let's delete this one here. All right, let's take a look first. I'm too quick. So we've got artifact store, and that was in there already. Then I moved the artifact store from the main project over to the package, and because Xcode realized there is already a file with the name, it renamed the copied file or moved file into artifact store too. So I'm going to delete this one here because we don't need it, and then I'm going to rename that one to artifact store, and now hopefully this is fine. And now things become interesting. First of all, we need access to Firebase. So we can just copy that over from this package. So I'm just going to copy the dependencies over from here, paste them here. So that is that. And then I'll make them available in the target. Okay, so that's that. So this should now have access to Firestore. Let's see what the compiler thinks about this. All right, and here we go. Observable is only available in iOS 17 on your, and that didn't used to be a problem because in our main project, the compile target is the minimum deployment target is iOS 18, but in our package it is not. So let's find out. Let me get a window. I want access to Gemini. Okay, so what is the default target for SPM if you don't specify a compile an OS level in the package file. According to the Apple documentation, when you don't explicitly specify an OS level in your Swift package manager package file, SPM applies default minimum deployment target versions. Here's a breakdown. But what does it mean? So, which iOS version would be the minimum one? It is nuanced. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to specify the operating system target version. So default local, no. So I think it's platforms. And then we want iOS, and then which version dot 17, that's what it said. So that should be good for now. So hopefully this will appease the compiler here. Still building. Yeah, I mean, I did say that. I wonder if it's a stale. Yeah, it seems to have been a stale warning. All right, so first of all, what we need to do is we need to make sure that everything here is public, right? So public, I'm just going to copy that. So this needs to be public. The initializer needs to be public. This needs to be public because we're calling it externally. All of these need to be public. Okay, and probably the ones on the memory store need to be public as well. Yeah, this one was public. So this one, so user defaults has no memory use emulator. That is true. It's an extension that we define somewhere. Let's see if it can, yeah, it can't find it, obviously. So I'm going to just search for it. Here it is. It's in a utilities package. Great. Let's define a package with the utilities, shall we? All right, so this is a really nice rabbit hole that we're digging ourselves into, but there we go. So a new package. Let's just call it utilities for now, which is always a little bit of a code smell. Utilities. And we're making it part of Sophia, and we're going to create it in the packages folder, and bam, 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 bam. And now let's go back to where we came from, and we're going to move this here. Probably needs to be public. This can go away. And now in the artifact store package, we can define a dependency on this. So dot package. All right, so it needs to be a path, right? So what does it? Let me take a look into my reference implementation. So it looks like we need to provide this using a name. So let's try this again. Dot package. Dot package name path. Here we go. So this is what we want. So we want to use the utilities package, and it is in one level up utilities. Good. Let's see. Build failed. It has, oh yeah, we need to import the package. Import utilities, and no such module because we need to make it available to the target. Utilities, and quite likely also here. Compile. I don't believe you. Yep, see? That was just a bogus error message. And here we need to import hello? Artifact store. There it was. I saw it. Artifact store. No such module because we need to make it available. Plus artifact store plus artifact store compile. Build failed. Again, I don't believe that. Oh, that one I should have believed. Believed. Yep. So it's being used all over the place, and that is why we need to import it everywhere. Ooh, yeah, so this property here is not public. And this one is also not public. Why did I miss this? And here we need to add the import. And that was it. So build successful. I'm mildly surprised because I would have expected that I would have to draw a dependency from artifact store to the artifact model. So what is happening here? Oh, interesting. That is, I think there is something not really correct here. Let me remove this. Okay, that works. I mean, we'll only find out if we run it. Let me run it. Well, apparently that works. Here is our simulator. All right. So, I'm really mildly surprised. Because, I mean, aren't we using, yeah, we're using artifact. And this is an artifact model. So technically, we would have had to specify that this target here depends on this artifact model. I have an idea. Okay, clean succeeded. Let's compile once more. And then I'm going to remove it from the Sophia target. And then let's see what happens. Oh, there we go. See, never trust the compiler. It is so wild. I mean, like, why do I have to tell the compiler what? I mean, you know. Okay, so let's go back into the artifact store. And now here in the dependencies, I'm going to add a dependency package, hello, package name path. And the name of the package that we want to depend upon is artifacts or artifact model, and the path is this. And then of course we need to reference this here. Oops, is that correct? Dot product name artifact model from package artifact model. And now let's see if this compile message gets resolved here, which hopefully it should. Build succeeded, right? Okay, so that is actually what I expected. And now we've got the basics down of our package structure, and let me see. I mean, I'm happy to go on. Let's, what I'll do is I'll resolve at least all those target membership things here, right? So, okay, so let's find all the files that have double target membership, and then I'm just going to pull them out into the metadata service. Oh, the view plus the bounds task view modifier, that can go into utilities. The dialog, node editor. Okay, so I'm going to move this okay, so we'll have to make a call here, right? I mean, so this utilities package here, as I already suspected, is going to end up being a kitchen sink, and we don't want that, right? So for example, this thing here, user defaults.use emulator, that is something that is related to Firebase largely. Then those two things here, the debounce task view modifier and the navigation link thing, these are Swift UI related things. So these probably should go into a different package. But for now, let's just move them over and put them here. And then we can delete this and do a quick compile and see where they're all needed. And yep, here we go. So import utilities. Oh, yeah, of course. Sorry, should have paid attention. So only iOS 13 or newer, iOS 15 or newer. So we're just going to go in and say, well, this one as well, please. It is platforms.ios. Let's just say 17. So that should resolve this. What's about this? iOS 16, that's fine. Yep, I did tell you about this. Well, didn't I say that? Let's do a clean and then recompile. Okay, view plus navigation link. We are in package.swift. So, and package.swift says we're going to use iOS version 17. I mean, it works over here. It should work over here. Let me delete this once more. Do compile. Nope. Okay. I have an idea. Bam. Let's just close Xcode and reopen it again and see if that helps. Okay, clean one more time. Oh, clean one more time, build one more time. Maybe I should look into using Toist. And there we go. You know, it's really a bit embarrassing. So and this is okay. So this is a missing import. So I'm going to import utilities here. Yep, same over here. Well, oh, maybe we have to make it public. Yeah, this one needs to be public. This one as well. Well, succeeded. Okay, so that's that. We've got our utilities. Probably need to clean them up a little bit later. This one was fine. Okay, metadata service. Okay, so let's create a new package for the metadata service. New package. Next. Metadata service. Make it part of Sophia. Make sure we're in the right folder. Click on create. clean it up. And then, so because we already have a file named metadata service, if we move this one over there, we will get the copy. So I'm just going to delete this one right now before moving the file. Move this over here. Hold down the Command key, let go, and it's copied. And so this looks good. All of it is public already, but we need to make sure that we update the OS version. Platforms, and we'll do 17. And while that is compiling, we can add it here. Where is the metadata service? Build failed, yep. I knew that. And then here again. And then we need to import it here. Import metadata service. And do another compile. Okay. All right. Oh, wow. Now it's getting interesting. So this doesn't conform to the sendable protocol. Probably should make the whole thing at main actor. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, we need to make read. We should mark this as pre-concurrency. And here add the import. Nope. Import metadata service. Okay, and it's missing in a couple of other places as well. Build succeeded. And here it's complaining about this. Okay, yeah, that makes actually sense. So here we have this warning, and it's inside of this macro expansion, which is really interesting that it only complains about it in the macro, right? It could have complained about it here. So both of these should be let constants because we're not modifying them. So this is a good idea. Yeah, these were the two ones. Okay. Nice. Okay. Close all of these. And let's open the target membership dialog here again. So all of these have just a single target membership. The add artifact dialog should probably go somewhere else. Yep. Let me see what I did in the other app. So yeah, I called it metadata UI. Is that a good idea? Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, because we're using this dialog. I mean, maybe we should rename it. But after all, it's a dialog to edit the metadata, right? So you see that all of the stuff that's happening here is about the metadata service. And we're extracting metadata from the artifact and from the original URL. So, but anyways, we'll build a new package for that as well. New package, and we will call it metadata UI. Make it part of Sophia, put it into the packages folder, create. Remove the comments. I'm just going to say that we'll set the platform right here just to make sure. And then we will take this and copy it over here. Hello. There we go. And this should definitely be public. This probably should be public as well. This already is public. I'm guessing that the body also needs to be public. Oh, and then of course we need a couple of imports. So first of all, we need to, So first of all, we need to make this available here in this target and in this other target as well. And then down here, we need to add the import metadata UI. But failed because it needs Firebase dependencies. What's missing? Firestore. And that is because we have a dependency on artifact store. I mean, do we really use Firestore here? Right, so we can use a transitive closure essentially, and we'll just import the artifact store. That's what I think is more appropriate. So add the dependency, dependencies, dot package name and path. And the name that we want to import is artifact store from, yep, that was correct, from artifact store. And then inside the target, we need the dependencies on, yeah, that was correct. Come on. Does it work like that? I think we use a different syntax than the other ones. No. Well, it might work. We'll see. I mean, it's much more concise. Yep. So, as I suspected, the body must be public as well. So we'll make this add main actor, and I think that should hopefully solve that problem. It does. And here, ooh, interesting. Maybe we're missing, well, the initializer is public. Oh yeah, we're missing the import. Metadata UI. Build succeeded. And I think that was it, right? So yeah, I mean, we could probably export a bunch of other stuff into packages as well, but let's leave it at that for now. And let me run the application just to verify it's still working. Yeah, there we go. Still working fine. The dialog is here. This one is here. That one is here. All right, everything is here. So there you have it. We've refactored our code base and we put everything into, well, not everything, but we put a lot of stuff into individual packages. And in the end, you know, you can even put the authentication thing into a package. And to be honest, that is what I did. So I took the authentication stuff, put it into a package, and because you need to do login and authentication in so many applications, you know, in literally every single one of my sample applications, I need to use Firebase authentication, and it's always such a hassle to implement it completely. I mean, you can. There was once a funny situation when I talked to a colleague of mine, to Rachel, and I said, well, you know, email and password authentication is really easy to implement. You know, it's just a couple of lines of code. And then she said, well, but have you thought about all of the special flows? And I was like, which flows do you mean? And she's like, well, you know, the forgotten password flow, for example, password reset flow, and, you know, password confirmation, right? Because you might want to verify that this is a proper real email account, right? Everybody can say, well, my name is, or my email address is test@test.com. And we all know that this email address does not belong to any one of us, but to, I don't know who even owns the test.com domain, probably the ICANN. But it doesn't belong to us, right? So we can just type it into an email field and provide a password, and then it's not a verified email address. So if in your application you want to make sure that the people that are using your app are real people and that you can trust them to a certain degree at least, then you need to verify their email address. And that you do by sending an email and saying, well, you did sign up to this application here. Can you please click on this link to make sure that you're actually the person that you claim that you are, or that there is this connection between you and this email address. And that is also an additional flow that you need to implement. So there is lots of stuff that you need to do in order to implement auth correctly. And I've started doing that in a package. It's a reusable package. It's not complete yet. It's already a lot of code, but it's not complete yet. I've got a good chunk of the email flow implemented. I've got sign-in with Apple implemented almost completely, including token revocation flow. And it's already a lot of code, but still a lot to go. But it's a reusable package, right? So technically, I could go ahead and rip out those two classes here, structs, and then use my identity kit thing. But yeah, so it makes everything a lot more reusable. Yeah, so I agree, Lars. It's probably easier to directly design using packages right from the start. And so for this live streaming thing here, I didn't do it because I thought, okay, it's such a chore to set up a package, and it would distract from the thing that I wanted to show in the first place. But in the end, it definitely is a lot more. It's a much better idea to use packages right from the start. It also helps you to think about how do I want to partition my application. So definitely +1. I'm a huge fan of doing that. Cool. So with that, thanks for watching. And I have a little teaser. So I'm going to do a collaboration with another person that is very well known in the iOS developer community. I'm not going to say who it is yet because we need to figure out a date when it's convenient for both of us. But you can look forward to a collaboration with another person that you all know. And I am really excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. So probably not next time, but maybe the time after next time. And with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for taking part in the poll. And I will see you next time. Bye for now. Have a good rest of your day.